What's going on, everybody? Episode 8 of the Ambitious Riders podcast. I'm excited to bring to you my guest, Nicholas Ponce here. He is a personal trainer, so I'm really excited to have him. I've known him for a bit now. Yes, sir. Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. Let's jump into it. Just tell me how old you are, a little bit about personal training, why you chose that, and your kind of journey to pursue it.
So I'm 22 years old. I started training, personal training back in February of 2021. I started at Snap Fitness, where I still am. I still have some clients out there. I started as front desk, at the front desk, and I started training there as well. And then now I also train over at the CSUP Rec Center. I guess the main reason I wanted to start pursuing that is partially of like my future goals of wanting to be like a strength and conditioning coach. I'm going to school at CSUP for exercise science, so I kind of wanted to have a part-time job that was going to be relevant to my career. So personal training kind of made the most sense because it's flexible, and I was going to be able to learn how to work with people. So just that experience alone, writing custom programs for people, seeing different reactions of people, high volume, low volume, training somebody that's 50 years old versus training somebody that's 18 years old, that's the kind of things I wouldn't have been able to see as a strength coach, right? It would have been, specific populations. So now I can kind of see a perspective on, building somebody up all the way to where, I get a client, I guess, that can't even do a bodyweight squat, right, without pain in their knees and hips, and then working them to where they can finally do that is rewarding, right? And it takes a different skill set than getting somebody, from a 225 squat to a 315 squat. So seeing that, right, has been very beneficial and applicable to like coaching the athletes that I've done. So I guess that's the biggest benefit, and the biggest reason I chose training is because I knew how much carryover it was going to have to my future career.
Okay, that's sweet. And how did little Nicholas look? What was little Nick look like?
When?
Back, just bring it back a little bit. So you're a personal trainer now.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, what made you want to? You're obviously, I mean, you're a fit guy, so it's just like bring it back. Talk about like.
So I started I started like wrestling, and I guess that made me more aware of like my physique and stuff like that, and that made me want to pursue strength in a sense. So I think like I started like my Instagram now, that's like Ponce Personal Training. Used to be Ponce Powerlifting, and I started that like probably 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago now. I think it was like my junior year of high school I did it. And that all started because I wanted to get strong, right? I want to get into powerlifting competition, and I did, right at the end of high school. I did one, day after graduation. And so I guess, I always loved being in a gym, and, I didn't really, I was always like on the thicker end of a physique, right? Like I'd normally be around like 200, 210, right? So it was after the 1 year college wrestling I did at Otero, right, where I had a better body composition. I kind of just wanted to maintain that and get stronger. And so after COVID, right, it's like summer 2020, that's when I'm trying to, figure out like, okay, what's going to be the best type of training for me later on. And so I guess it was like the that fall and stuff where I was just getting back into powerlifting training again, because that's just what I did. It was the most interesting for me. And then February of 2021 was when I just started, when I decided well, I guess it was November of 2020 is when I signed up for like the ACE personal training certification, and from there you have 6 months to take the personal training certification exam. So I studied for a couple months, and I took the test like early February, and then I started at Snap, later, just later that month. So.
How long have you been wrestling for?
So I guess I count since 7th grade. So 7th through high school, and then a year at college, so 7 years. And then this would be my 2nd year as the assistant coach over at Centennial.
Nice. So, 7 years wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did 1 year of youth over at a club as well, but 7 years, ongoing.
How long have you been powerlifting?
Since, I'd say, I've been doing powerlifting training since 2018. My first comp was in June of 2019, though, so I guess 3 years consistent, since I've done a meet, but 4 years in total of training for it, so. When
you started training, was it how was your training? Was it structured as far, or was it just for fun? You just lifted to see how
It was always
heavy?
Structured, I'd say. I've written my own programs for a long time now. Even I go back and look, and it's kind of obviously some of it's kind of bad. There's a lot of volume, definitely. But it was that's how I experimented and learned, just through myself, right? And that's how I was able to kind of know and mess around with it later on for my own clients and all the people I've sold custom programs for. Because it takes there's a lot of variables going into writing a custom workout. For somebody, the volume, the frequency, the exercise selections, if something's going to aggravate an injury, if they're trying to rehab something, and what their goals are specifically. So, being able to apply those same things to myself was important. But, so I was probably writing my own programs for 2 or 3 years before I written written one for somebody. And early on, that's what it was like. I'd have it was 6 days a week. I do three days where it was higher volume, and then 3 days that was heavier, and then it was push pull leg. And yeah, that's the type of training I did going into it was the Rocky Mountain Drug Tested Open, the one we did back in 2019.
So how does volume work and frequency?
Typically, I normally go into a powerlifting meet with a 12-week prep. So it'll be first 7 weeks are normally higher volume. The intensity's lower, and you're increasing it slowly going into the comp. So let's say you're starting at 65% intensity, with higher volume. So 4 sets of 10 or something, and then you're eventually working your way down, to a lower rep scheme the closer you are to the competition. So first 7 weeks are the higher rep schemes, higher volume, lower intensity, and then typically at the 8-week mark is then 8-week mark we'll do deload, and then weeks 9 through 12 is a taper. So increasing the intensity and then lowering the volume. So, and then I'm also adding in SBD days, so a day solely where you're doing squat, bench, and deadlift, just so you can get prepared going into that competition, so that volume isn't killing you. On the day of the comp, I know after that time we did that first competition, by the time I was at deadlifts at the end of the day, I was pretty K'd, and it was just because I'd never been used to maxing out my squat and then maxing out my bench, and then now I got to max out my deadlift, right? So adding in those days definitely helped, but yeah, those weeks 9, 10, 11, 12 are just going into that, but really week 12 is just your week where you're hitting your openers, on Monday, and then you're just pretty much taking it easy from there on. So just adding in, changing just little things going into the comp.
What kind of competitions have you competed in as far as strength?
Mm-hmm. So I've done 4 powerlifting competitions, and then I've done 1 strongman comp. So I want to do a weightlifting competition eventually. think that'd be nice to add in because I want to get a USA weightlifting certification. It'd be really relevant to my career as well.
Is that power cleans and?
So weightlifting is just cleans, like the clean and jerk, and then snatch. So that's weightlifting. Powerlifting, squat, bench, deadlift, and then strongman will have any number of events. So like the one I did had a press medley, right, which had a keg press. What's it called? Log press, and then it also had a circus press, right, and just for one event, and it had a hustle full carry, and then a max deadlift, and then a keg load. I can't remember the last. Oh yeah, then axle tire squat. So yeah, all those things. It was awesome, right? So it was interesting, and it varies from strongman comp to strongman comp. But weightlifting is just the clean and jerk and snatch.
Okay. What are your numbers with the clean and jerk?
I've maxed out that in years, honestly. So that's why I need to train for it. Yeah. So.
Okay, let's go back to the numbers. What were they?
The heaviest clean and jerk I ever got was 275. Senior year in high school.
275. How much did you weigh?
It was probably like 200 pounds, maybe 210.
210.
Anywhere in that range, I don't know, but yeah. And then I've never done a legit snatch, so that's something I need to, I think, improve my mobility and then just really clean up the technique on that for sure. So
what about
technical lift?
Shoulder press. Did you ever like doing shoulder presses, or was that just something you did because you had to do them?
Like military press or like a jerk? Like
military press.
The heaviest I ever did was 195. So I wanted to get like a 200. And I don't think I ever did, so that's my cap was at 195. Just a strict press, with the barbell.
Do you like doing them?
Sometimes. I mean, I think they're kind of, I don't know. I don't add them in, so not really. I mean, I think they're kind of taxing, and then I end up using my low back when you're maxing out really heavy on them, so I typically like to do like a seated dumbbell press. Or like kettlebell presses. I think those are solid. Mm-hmm. My training is kind of adapted, since like April, because I've added in like jiu-jitsu training. So, like, my training in the gym has also changed because of that. Still, with the powerlifting movements, but a lot of my accessories or assistant work has changed. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Change how? Like how is everything changed?
So like I would do like barbell shoulder press, right? I would do the standing kettlebell.
So how does as far as like your routine for the week, how does that look like when you're trying to incorporate, strength and conditioning with grappling?
So I typically train. I try to get in at least 4 times a week at a Childress, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then I try to lift anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week, and then I try to add in cardio after at least a couple of those weight training sessions, and then try to stretch anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. Yeah, that's a typical schedule. Whereas before, I would just weight train about 5 times a week. So it definitely changes a lot, right? Because your mobility changes, like flexibility, and then you're doing something that's really taxing on your body, right? It's not like jiu-jitsu isn't a hard workout, right? And then adding in a workout later on or before could, be hard. So. That's just how it's changed, adding in that. But I mean, I've loved it. It's been such a great change. So
that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's sweet. So what are you thinking when you compete?
For powerlifting?
In powerlifting and in a tournament for grappling, like what are your thoughts? You think like? Is there like a mind change? Like, are you going to like absolutely do whatever you can to like come out on top? Because it's different. I've seen you have a different mindset with it.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to overthink in either competitions. I see that a lot. Like when I'm coaching kids, they they kind of get in their own heads, and then they get really nervous, and then they don't compete well. So. just like with, if it's jiu-jitsu, if you're nervous, just try to calm your nerves. Just remind yourself, like, hey, I do this all the time in practice. I roll with people all the time. It's no big deal. Powerlifting, same thing. I squat all the time. I bench all the time. I deadlift all the time. I know the commands, right? I've done this before, right? So it's not something I should, worry about, right? So if you go in with that mindset and just worry about relaxing, enjoying it, having fun, then you're going to compete well. So it's the person that kind of stresses, like, oh, if I don't win this, so what is this? At the end of the day, it's just a competition, right? It's just for fun, and you're just trying to enjoy yourself. So people who stress about the outcome too much, or they're gonna find themselves, unhappy, right? Because the outcome isn't always going to be favorable for you. So if you go in just relaxed, you're going to compete a lot better. And that's how I try to go in. Okay. Either whatever it is in competition, jiu-jitsu, powerlifting, when it was wrestling, that's like, it was harder, right? But something I've gotten better at, I think, as I've gotten older. So
got better at grappling?
No, I'm like just calming like my nerves in competition.
So when you first started, did you start off like wrestling? Was that like the first kind of like I don't know, like physical thing you got into?
Football. Football is probably the first thing. Football and soccer when I was like 5 years old. My mom put me in a lot of sports growing up, so I pretty much played a lot. Soccer, football, I remember were the biggest things I liked to do. Wrestling for like the year, my youth. I did track in high school, but my first love was always football. So, and then wrestling through middle school. After 7th grade. So
what? Let's bring it back real quick. A little cast out there. Just
all right.
You went to you went to school at Centennial, right?
Yes.
Here, Pueblo, Colorado, right there. So, what are some of your favorable moments with football?
Probably I remember at Centennial.
Yeah.
Okay, at Centennial was probably like sophomore year. We lost the bell the year before to Central, so we were bringing it back. It was first. It was like one of the first varsity games I remember playing in, and we won, and it was a great game. And I remember bringing it back to the school and being really hype, and it was awesome. So that's the best memory I can think of. Obviously, you remember we weren't that good at Centennial. So that sophomore year, it was 2-8 record. So that was definitely the highlight of the season, was winning that bell and just bringing it back.
Wrong one. Son of a bitch. I need to learn these buttons. All right. D.
Come on. I thought she said this was your 8th one.
D. I know. I did.
All right. Figure it out, dude. Figure it out.
These two right there. Right there. Okay. What about with wrestling? What's one of your favorable moments?
What's one of my favorite moments? Probably senior year state placing, taking 5th. That was awesome. I remember beating the Grand Junction kid. That's what you're always training for, is for state and stuff like that. So that was definitely a highlight. That, and maybe like junior year winning regionals, that was fun. It was always great. Those memories with your teammates. Some of my high school wrestling teammates are some of my best friends still today. So, that's what I'm always grateful for.
So how is it different from like jiu-jitsu and wrestling?
It's always fun to make that comparison, because they're very similar, but they're also like polar opposites, right? Because wrestling's very like aggressive. I always feel like there's a lot of ego in wrestling, for sure. You're bumping heads, like who's the most aggressive. Definitely jiu-jitsu's not like that. It's a lot calmer. You go in with a lot more peaceful mindset, right? And it's, you got to think of the demographic, right? When you're wrestling in high school, it's all, all boys. You guys are all competing for each other. First year in college, same thing, right? So understanding that, right? The class demographic, everyone's just trying to go in there and get better. You're not trying to hurt anybody, right? So you go in there calm, right? That you just wrestle at your own pace, right? Don't try to overpower something that's smaller than you. Try to learn the technique. Try to learn guard, fighting off your back early on, and try to use what wrestling taught you, but not in a sense, right? You don't want to be overly aggressive, and you don't want to just rely on just constantly passing guard, never working off your back and stuff like that, because that's just going to hinder your game later on. But yeah, it's helped a ton, right? Just learning how to move people, it helps. Wrestling is great because for your feet, grappling on your feet. The takedowns, takedown defense definitely carries over a lot in the jiu-jitsu. They're very similar in a sense, but very different. So the wrestling training for years has helped, right? I'm glad that it's kind of guided me towards it, because I've really liked it since. And I think I've done 2 tournaments for jiu-jitsu that were I did one Naga one, and then I think Grappling Industries, or maybe not I can't remember. It was one in Springs, and then I did one in Denver, and then I did 2 in-house tournaments at Childress. So that's it so far, but it's been awesome. So I really like the sport.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I like jiu-jitsu a lot. I like wrestling too, but
Oh, you do?
yeah, it wasn't so fun. Yeah, exactly. See. Oh. Okay, so with powerlifting and personal training, what do you wanna do with that? Do you want to kind of go do your own thing and try to be independent outside of gym, or?
I think it'd be awesome to eventually own a gym, but I guess my main goal is to graduate at CCP. I'm a junior right now, so I'll have 3 more semesters.
Start short term first. For
yeah,
sure.
And then I want to become a strength conditioning coach at a college. So I'm interning at CCP as well at the sports performance program under Rashad Harris. I was watching and interning with the football workouts. They had some women's basketball, men's lacrosse. Men's basketball.
How is that so far?
It's great. Yeah, I did that all last semester, so it was awesome. It was 100. I think it was 150 field work hours I did, and then I'll do it again this next semester, and then I'll be good with it. And then hopefully we'll get another internship at another sports performance strength conditioning place.
So with you're a coach at a CSEP for that strength and conditioning club?
I'm an intern. Yeah.
Okay. What about for that club? Is that what that's for?
For the powerlifting?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's separate. Yeah, that's just my own club that I started at CSEP for people to compete at. So we had 4 people compete at the USAPL Krampus is coming to town, I believe is what it's called, at Devil Dog Strength Conditioning. With Coach Carter, he hosted that.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a teacher at the university, and he owns that gym, Devil Dog Strength Conditioning. Mm-hmm. So he ran that, which was awesome.
Yep.
And we had 4 of our athletes go into that, so that was cool. And
how did that go?
It went well. Yeah, they all did good. They all hit some
good.
PRs.
That's sweet.
So it was great first experience. And then he'll be hosting more in the future, so we look forward to that. It's definitely great.
That's awesome. How did you feel as a coach going into that?
It's always a learning experience, right? It's you get there early, and then you're just you're there trying to help out your athletes the best you can. So I felt good. I felt confident in all of them. We've been training, probably since late August, early September. We've been meeting up at CCP at the rec center. So it's been going well. So I felt good. All of them, it was their first comp.
Good.
So
Good.
it was great first experience, and then there'll be another one eventually, and then they'll get another one, and then hopefully they'll get better numbers and hit more PRs. So
what made you want to do what made you want to coach for wrestling and strength and conditioning?
The head coach, he was the assistant coach when I was there at Centennial, Dino Aragon. He asked me if I wanted to be the assistant coach at Centennial last year in 2021 during the summer, and I said, yeah, sure, and because I wanted to help out the program and see him do well. And so I decided to help out last year. We had 3 kids qualify for state. 1 kid took 3rd. And then, all of them were returning again this year. And, they're doing well. So I decided to come back for another year. And, it's fun to it's fun to stay in the sport and to kind of get back in that sense and the coach. So and it's good to work with. It's good to work with Dino and then the other assistant as well. So Coach Miller. So
That's good. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
It's inspiring. Not only that, it's good. It's good for the community. You're doing good.
Thanks.
Yeah. How are they doing? Like, you have any some kind of out of the ordinary athletes that you've seen so far?
We have 1 kid that's ranked number 1 in the state at 138s, Jason Soto. He took 3rd last year at 126s. I think he's 5-0 right now. He
Jason Soto?
Yeah.
Is he related to anybody? Like Anthony?
Yeah, that's
Is
his
he?
cousin. Yep, yeah. Yeah, great wrestler. He's a stud. He's a sophomore this year, so he'll do well. And then we have Blake Roberts. He's I think he's ranked. I can't remember where he's ranked, but he qualified for state last year. He's wrestling 165s, and he lost just 1 match before placing, so he's going to do well. He's going to be a state placer this year for sure. Real high on that podium, hopefully. And then Adrian Lopez Vigil, he qualified last year at 220s. He's wrestling 190s this year. Hoping to qualify him again and get him on the podium. And then, other kids as well. Ryan, he's 106s. He's going to do real tough. We got a bunch of other kids like Manny, Lucy.
Dog. Keep going. Name them. Come on.
Name all my kids.
Name them. Dog.
No,
Every single one of them.
So 106, Ryan, 113.
Dog.
Elijah.
Dog.
Cruz, 120.
Dog.
Josiah, 126.
Dog.
Soto, 132s. Yeshua, 138s.
You bet
Lucy,
he's a dog.
144s. Manny, 150s. Chris was 157s this weekend. Blake, 165s.
Dogs.
Logan, 175s. Adrian, 190s. And then hopefully we'll have Sal at 215s after Christmas, or Tommy. And then we have Dalton at heavyweight, which is 285.
Dogs.
Yeah. They're all bulldogs, yes.
Yeah. They're all animals.
Yep. Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, well, I wish I should have, yeah. I didn't wrestle too much. I wrestled, but I didn't wrestle too much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know you know. It was the time. It was the
Do you
time.
do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Do
I've been
you?
doing jiu-jitsu. Hey,
oh.
the last couple weeks have been having rough, okay?
Alright, no, I didn't know if you still do that too. I didn't know if that was going to be another wrestling situation.
No, I gotta focus.
Okay, yeah, focus, man. Think. Jesus.
Focus. I know, I gotta get my head on straight. Everybody else is, like, talking smack. I'm not sorry. I need to focus. Okay.
Yeah, man. I know.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
That's just kind of, hey, life happens, Life goes the way life
I know.
goes. Life's tough. We gotta find a way through it. But this has been fun,
Yeah, of course.
So I enjoy having this. Eventually, it's gonna be a long-term goal for sure, but we'll see where this takes me.
Yeah,
And,
of course, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, you're grinding on it, dude. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just want to talk to people like you, just anybody, honestly, and really like business owners. I've been thinking, I've interviewed a few firefighters, but not very many people. I mean, you're the 8th guest, so I've only had like 7 people on here, but
That's cool, dude. That's the only way you grow, man.
yeah, exactly.
Little by
But
little.
within those people, it's been a thought process and still a little process.
Oh, of course, man. You got to learn with every single one.
Yeah, I want to have, honestly, multiple people from different anything, honestly.
Yeah, you always got to get different viewpoints.
Exactly.
Man. So.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. New, established, whatever it is. I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really have any topics. How do you like jiu-jitsu so far?
It's been great, dude. The coaches there are awesome. Coach Josh Childress, he's the head owner and professor. Amazing guy. Very, taught everything.
It's been great.
Basically
yeah,
everything.
honestly.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Sweet.
With Coach Juan, all the coaches have taught everything very well.
They're sweet.
Great place, good environment. So it's Coach Josh, Coach Juan, both Juans, right? Juan Martinez, junior, and then the senior, whatever. Fourth,
Junior,
fifth.
senior, whatever.
Big Juan and Little Juan. Let's just say
we
that.
got. I know that's a whole different podcast.
And then Coach Ray, and then you have Coach Will. And then,
Coach Will, yeah. It's been great. I like it so far. It's awesome. How do you because I think about it from a different perspective, and it's been good so far. But I still have a hard time kind of with a confidence thing. That's what it is with me, and a speed level. But I like it
with speed. No, you're the fastest guy ever, dude.
Oh yeah, see it. Yeah. But
I know what you mean, dude. No, it's good.
Am I good enough for a self-defense situation or any kind of? I feel like I am, but
I don't know. I can't give you that frame of reference. I don't know if I am either. But that's. It's just I don't know. You kind of go to it for that, but it's I don't know. It's good to know, right? It's great. The great self-defense.
You're just you're training with the same people all the time, which is good. They're all great, but
yeah, I don't know.
I know
it's
I'm
just
getting
reps,
better.
The more you do it, the more confident you're gonna feel with it. So
it's good.
That's just how it
is. Good. It's all a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it, but I'm not on a grappling level as you are, because you have some experience in wrestling, so it's a different mindset.
It'd just be if a judo guy came, right? He's gonna have a lot of help too, right? Because he knows throws and stuff like that, right? So it's just like that. Any type of grappling is gonna kind of help going into that, So yeah, it for sure helps, and it'll definitely have some carryover. So it definitely makes me more comfortable because I know how to just change paces, right? Because when I coach, right, you have to wrestle with them, right? And then I go into jiu-jitsu and it's completely different pace, right? So it's nice to be able to see both of them and get both of those different perspectives. So
yeah, I agree. I like both perspectives. It's good. It's great. It's great. But anyways, the past is the past. Can't change that. You just gotta go on with the future.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So you do you see yourself coaching with what you're doing long term, staying in Pueblo, or would you want to branch out?
Yeah, I'd probably end up leaving wherever I get accepted for a strength conditioning job as soon as I graduate. It'd be cool if you could stay, but it's gonna be where the jobs open up and go. So I'll have to see where that takes me when I graduate, and 3 semesters from now, so a year and a half. So. I probably won't be in Pueblo still. So yeah, just more than likely.
Yeah.
Just for just the sake of there's only CSUP, that has 3 positions, and then the PBR place, that's a sports performance place. But those are really the only 2 spots I can do.
I didn't know it was a sports performance place.
Yeah, PBR sports performance. I think I'd like to intern there eventually as well. But yeah, those are the only 2 places you can do that here in town. So that's probably why I'll have to eventually end up leaving. You can go end up, CSU, CU, Mesa, Western, north. Adams, or anywhere there's a university or minor league teams, stuff like that. So, where the opportunity presents itself, really.
Good, that's awesome.
Of course.
I got lost in the sauce again.
I know, I can tell, buddy.
It happens every time. I like it though. It's It's just a little offset, you know. Like who's here to judge, huh? Nobody. It's only on camera.
Nobody, man.
It's just a conversation. Yeah, it's good because again, I always say this. I like to have a conversation with the person.
Yeah, that's it, man.
You know. Yeah. So the Colts and the Vikings.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy, man. Do you watch NFL
No,
really?
I don't.
No. The only
My buddy
reason I
told me
keep up
about
with
that.
NFL is because of fantasy football. That's it, though.
You have a fantasy football league?
Yeah, I'm in a league. Yeah.
What's the big hype about that?
I mean, I've always been a big football fan, so it's cool just to see some of your favorite players that you draft early on in the season.
How does it all work?
You early in the year, probably like at the end of the preseason, or like probably whenever your league wants to do it, but normally like right at the end of preseason, you'll draft your lineup, right? And then it'd be like, depending, it's like a 10 or a 12-man league, and then you just draft your players, quarterback, one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end, flex, defense, and a kicker, and then the back, I think it's up 12 or 14 total, so then you get the backups for them and stuff, and then you just go, week 1 through week 18. So right now it's the first week of playoffs, and I'm losing, so I'm probably done.
Damn.
Round 1.
Yeah, done for.
It's tragic, dude, round 1 already, but that's what happens, man.
Fantasy
It's
football.
fun.
No, I don't
Tragic,
watch football at all. So what happened with the Colts and the Vikings?
The Colts I think they were leading 33-0 or something. I think it was that. And then the Vikings came back and beat them in overtime by a field goal last second.
Really?
Yeah. So
damn, dude.
We watched that. So we were in Red Robins. We just left the tournament at Heritage. And then we were at the Red Robins just, all eating, and then we saw that live, so it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because our coach is a Vikings. Well, one of the volunteer coaches is a Vikings fan, and his son is a Vikings fan, so they're all hyped watching the game.
Word. They're probably all hyped when it happened.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, dude, it was a crazy comeback.
Yeah, of course. It was like one of the
largest comebacks in NFL history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damn. There's
33-0, I think.
Wild.
I can't remember what exactly it was, but yeah.
It's Buck. Yeah. What about you been watching UFC lately, or?
Oh yeah, I mean the last card I watched live was when we watched the Alex Pereira and Stylebender Izzy fight at my friend Noah's house. That was insane. That whole card was crazy, but watching that live was cool. Because I wanted to see, I kind of wanted to see Alex Pereira. Well, I did want to see Alex Pereira win, just for the sake. I thought it was gonna be interesting because he'd already beaten Izzy twice in kickboxing. So watching him, because he's losing. I think he lost 3 rounds and he only maybe won 1 of those. He's down bad in that round 5, and just for him to come back and beat Izzy, who's picking him apart the whole freaking fight. I mean. There was like 2 times at the end of the round where you're like, geez, he caught him, right? So he's kind of surviving, and just for him to knock him out and get that TKO, he was great. That was a crazy card. And then I think that was Dustin Poirier. I think it was Michael Chandler. That fight was great. I can't remember the woman's name, like Wang Lee or something, but she had a great fight. I can't remember the other 2 fights, but it was a great main card. It was solid.
Pretty
so
sweet.
Yeah. But I haven't watched. I've been watching a few weekends, but that was the last card I watched live with my buddies.
Do you have any way off topic, but anyways, do
That's
you have
fine.
any besides good old Ronnie Coleman, any inspirations, as far as powerlifting?
Well, the Olympia is this weekend, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't watch it. Did you?
No, I didn't watch it, but I always like to see the results. Yeah, because that's like
Randy didn't win.
Yeah, I know. He took 5th. Dude, he did terrible.
I know, but that one guy did deserve first. He's been
what was his
good.
name again?
I don't know. It's some Israeli.
I think it was it was Hadi Chupin. Hadi Chupin, dude. Yeah, that guy. The Persian Wolf, I think is what they call him. He did it.
He looked good.
And then Derek Lunsford, who was a 212 guy,
and
he took
Nick
2nd.
Walker.
He took 3rd, yeah. And then I can't remember who the 4th guy was. And then it was Big Ramy. for fifth. He went from first to fifth. That's crazy, man.
That is
crazy, dude.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's like the OG stuff that got me into lifting, dude. It was like Nick Strength and Power on YouTube, and yeah, who it was Ronnie Coleman, Arnold. You know, obviously the pumping iron. You know, always helped because Coach Kurtz was super into bodybuilding, and the Olympia used to always be, you know, is either my birthday weekend or it'd be his birthday weekend.
Yeah,
you know, like back in September. But it changed after COVID, if I remember, to December is when they started doing the Olympia. But I don't keep up with bodybuilding anymore. It's just because it doesn't really interest me that much. But I like to see the Olympia results. So
Me too.
I know Chris Bumstead. I think he won the classic as well.
He did again.
And that's I can't remember that top 5, but that was cool. So it was pretty cool to see how that went. But and, you know, little Sean Clarita. That little dude won 212. So, yep.
I know. Yeah. Hey, I mean, they deserved it. I mean.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see the best of bodybuilding. Yeah. Yeah.
It was good. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, but like I guess powerlifting motivation. You know, I don't really watch like too much powerlifters. Like I can go on my Instagram and like find some of the people that I watch, right? Like. But I don't really watch too many and like gain like too much inspiration, right? Like there's like the basics, like you got like Russell or Hughes, always a really great guy. You know, one of the best in the world to do it. You know, same weight class as me, you know, like the 82.5 kg, just an absolute freak. I know he just competed at 90 kg this past weekend. Also did amazing. Almost had a 2,000 freaking pound total in USAPL at 90 kg, which is insane. And then, oh man, dude, I think it's Dawson Windham. I think that's his name on Instagram. He's great. John Hack, he's one of my other favorite ones. He's cool. Yeah, I mean, I watch a good amount of them, but I don't like, Jamal Browning. I think Browner. Yeah, that guy's a freak too. That guy's really awesome to watch. Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot for entertainment. I just like to watch them for fun. I wouldn't say it's like much of inspiration as much anymore, but just to see, I'm just like, I want to see how strong this guy gets. Yeah. Yeah, like that Jamal Browner dude, that guy hit like I think it was a 501 kg deadlift or something. I don't even know his body weight, but I mean, that's freakish, you know?
It is, yeah. Dude, I agree.
So 1,100 pound deadlift.
Seriously. So has it always been like powerlifting for you, like for...
Started as it, yeah, for sure.
Why powerlifting? Did you want to see like your numbers or like how strong you were, or like?
I want to get as strong. Originally I want to get strong for the Power Club at Centennial, which it was like school. They had squat, bench, shoulder press, clean, in deadlift, right? Squat, bench, deadlift, and then
power
shoulder
clean,
press
shoulder
and clean.
press.
Yeah. So I want to get those numbers up, and that was the original goal for that. And then I was like, okay, why don't I just do powerlifting into that, because those were my 3 favorite lifts. Because we didn't do snatches, right, in high school, so I didn't know that. So I didn't really want to do weightlifting. So powerlifting kind of just made the most sense. And then when I did that, you decided to do it, and then Dylan Blue also decided to do it, and old Joe. So it was not old, little Dylan Blue, and Joe decided to do it. Also, it was us 4 that did it, and it was just a good experience. And it was fun, just to train for maximum strength, just to put on the most weight on the bar as possible. So that it was always really fun for that. I mean, I really love deadlifts. I really love squats. Going into that first competition, so it was always really fun. Really good to train for numbers. But switching gears and going to jiu-jitsu was a good change up, right? So it's just like. But it's just like what I kind of go back to tell my clients is like, do what's going to keep you moving, right? So like currently I've been loving jiu-jitsu training more, so that's why I prioritize, right? So a year ago it was strength training, where I did 3 powerlifting competitions in 2021. So it's whatever keeps you going to the gym, whatever keeps you active is what you should do, right? So I love jiu-jitsu and I like coaching, so that's what's been keeping me moving currently, and it's adapted my training while I lift, like at the gym. So it's all been nice, and it's always been good carryover to see it go and translate on the mat. So yeah, I mean, I just love staying active, you know. So whatever capacity. It started with powerlifting, just in the sense I want to see those 3 numbers. I got a little bored of it, right? I like coaching it, but I got a little bored of it for myself. So that's why I walked in jiu-jitsu and loved that since, and having powerlifting kind of on the side with it because I want to maintain those numbers, but it's definitely not the main priority.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So what did you do in track?
I did shot put and discus.
Yeah. How was that?
It was cool, dude. I used to like track. It was fun. It was good. I only did it, sophomore.
It's a little different. It's not running,
Yeah, I know. I was a fat boy. I didn't want to run.
Didn't want to. So that's why you did shot put and discus.
Yeah.
Were you like any? I mean, you were strong, so it helped you a lot. But
I wasn't very good. I was on varsity, but it's not like I ever qualified for state or anything. So. It was a fun thing to do, though, in the spring.
A lot of the people... Dude, East is really good with their athletes.
Yeah, they're ranked number 1 in the state right now for wrestling. They just went to the Jimmy John's Northern Colorado Christmas tournament, and they won... I can't remember by how many points, too, but they won. It was crazy because there's some Wyoming schools that went... there's a school from Wyoming, I think... Couple from there. There's just out of state tournament. It was just a big tournament, right? It was like 32-man brackets. It was just huge, and they won. So they're then they had a few champs. They just have a great program, man. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love to see it.
Yeah, no, it's great for Pueblo because they just won state last year. So hopefully they can win it again. So
they got a lot
that's
of
what you're rooting for.
Yeah, football, track.
Yep, and we got a nationally ranked kid, dude. It's crazy. No,
it is.
Committed Division 1.
Who is it?
His name is Weston Dalton. He's ranked. I think he's ranked number 5 or number 6 in the nation. He's committed to Nebraska. Yep.
In wrestling?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
What?
He's a 2-timer, I think.
In what weight?
In wrestling.
What?
I don't know the weights. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
And he's going to Nebraska.
He's gonna go to Nebraska next year. Yeah, he's a senior this year.
Are they good?
Nebraska? Yeah, they're a great wrestling school.
You look at me as you're playing.
No, you're like you're just goofy when you ask questions sometimes. No, yeah, they're a great wrestling school. That's where Jordan Burroughs went. Jordan Burroughs is a gold medalist wrestler.
Damn.
One of the all-time winningest wrestlers for USA. I think he's an 8-time or a 9-time world champion. So he went to Nebraska back when he went in college.
Damn, that's fire.
Yeah, Nebraska's a great wrestling school.
Sick. Holy shit. What about Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa's like one of the best, if not the best currently.
Holy shit.
It goes like Iowa, Penn State. Those are great. Missouri's great. Iowa State is good. Is pretty good too.
Is Iowa where Brock
Spencer Lee? Spencer Lee goes there. I believe the coaches are.
What about Brock
They're
Lesnar?
twins. No, he went to Minnesota. Yeah, he went to Minnesota. They're a great program too. That's where Gable Steveson went. He was I believe, a 2-time national champ. He was a gold medalist for U.S. in the past Olympics at heavyweight. So he's great, crazy athlete, heavyweight that can do freaking backflips, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, he had a great match. Good comeback win in the Olympics to win gold. So great wrestler from Minnesota. Yeah, but Iowa's like probably the best right now. Iowa or Penn State right now. So.
Your shit.
Yeah, I like wrestling, man. I definitely keep up with the sport or try to.
With football too, all your sports.
Yeah, I like.
Have you ever went golfing?
Golfing? No, I've never golfed myself. No. Have you?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not a golfer.
Low golfing, mini golfing.
Yeah, I've been mini golfing.
I've never
golfing's
been actual
golfing. I think it's a little too slow paced for me, maybe. Yeah, I'd do it for fun. Maybe go to the driving range. That'd be cool.
I like to go. It's where you get probably have a few beers and
that's what people definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably not for me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
anyways, how I feel
about it.
Yeah, but do you like hockey?
Yeah, my mom's really into it. She was really happy that the Avalanche won last year. I remember her taking me a bunch of hockey games, like the Avalanche games when I was younger. I don't really keep up with it that much, but it's I'm happy for her to see it. But yeah, hopefully I kind of want to go to an Avalanche game next year, like hopefully early in July or something. But yeah, it's a cool sport. I have a lot of respect for hockey players because I think it's really skillful. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to freaking skate.
Have you been to Papa Bulls team?
No, I should though. I think it'd be fun to watch them. They're a good team. I've heard, right? They're pretty solid.
I went once, so it was pretty solid.
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hockey's tough, dude.
It is.
Yeah, it's super tough. So.
Tough game. So, born and raised in Colorado, Pueblo?
Yep, Pueblo, Colorado. Yes, sir.
What kind of things do you like to do other than powerlifting and...
I like to hike. I used to rock climb a lot last year. But I think hiking is probably my favorite outdoor activity. I've done like 9... Sorry. I've done 9 of the Colorado 14ers. So those are really fun for me to do. I like to go out and experience the mountains. I like to bike sometimes. I think that's fun. Rock climbing, indoor or outdoor, is a good... just getting out and exercising in that sense is going to be fun to kind of challenge your body in a different way. Yeah, that's what I would say. So those are my favorite things to do besides, everything else I do for fun.
Hiking also.
I'll play games sometimes, like...
You like to go to concerts or like shows?
Yeah, actually, I went to 3 concerts this year. It was fun. I went... first concert I went to this year was in the summer. I went to see Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Broncos Stadium, Power Field. Then I went to see my favorite artist of all time, Joji, at the Fillmore Auditorium. I went with my best friends, so that was great. That was like the week before my birthday. That was cool. And then went seeing Suicide Boys with my friends at on Halloween at the at Red Rocks. So it was a busy year. It was awesome though. It was a great experience. It was all different atmospheres and different vibes at all 3 of them. Suicide Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Joji.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely different. But it was cool. It was awesome.
I want to go to Red Rocks.
Yeah, it's cool, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
I like the Denver area in general. It's nice, broad. It's big inches. There's so much more to do down there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude.
It's like you got 16th Street Mall right there. You got I don't even know everything else. You got West.
Yeah, there's all that stuff to do in Denver, man.
Yeah. You got Lakewood. You got Aurora. You got Arvada.
Yes, sir.
God damn, it's crazy. Yeah. So, all right. How do those 14ers go? Are they pretty tough?
Yeah, of course, man. They're always going to be pretty tough depending on the difficulty. Even a small one, like a short one, like the easier ones I've done with people. I think the easy one I'd recommend for someone is like Mount Sherman. The road up it isn't too bad. You can normally get up it pretty far with the 2-wheel drive car. And that one I think is 4 to 5 miles. So that one's not too bad. It's like 1,500 to 2,000 feet of elevation gain. That's like one of the easiest 14ers you can do. And then after that, it's just going to get higher in mileage and then more elevation gain. So you can say like an average one is probably 8 to 10 miles of hiking, with 2,000 to 4,000 feet of elevation gain, probably closer, to the 4,000. So, yeah, they're definitely challenging depending on how, in shape you are for it, but I mean, if you pack enough food, right, if you prepared properly, right, if you have enough water, I try to have like a 2-liter Camelback, then I'll have an extra water or a Gatorade, and then I'll have some snacks like some nuts and some granola bars and maybe like a PB&J, and then I normally have 2 jackets, so I'll have like an outer shell that's rainproof, and then a puffer to keep me warm, and then I'll wear like a flannel or something, and then I'll have like a first aid kit. Prepared. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. I mean, they can take like 6 to 8 hours. I mean, like even 10 hours. So when I did Pikes Peak, that took a while. I can go on all trails. And
how did you start from Pikes Peak? Where'd you?
I didn't do the bar. I did the Craig's Trail. So that's the backside way, and it's shorter. So if you go from the bar, I believe it's like 12 up or 13 up, and then 13 down. It's like doing a whole freaking marathon. So I did it from the Craigs. I believe that's how you say it. And then I want to say that was 10 or 11 miles in total. So more reasonable. Definitely super tough though still. It was a long one. Beautiful though. Super beautiful. Then they have the visitor center on top. So I got mini donuts. I had a little coffee. I was chilling up there for 45 minutes, No other 14er like that, There's only 2 14ers, I believe, that you can drive up to, and that's Mount Evans. Sorry, Mike Evans, Mount Evans, and Pikes Peak. And I can't remember which one is the highest road in the U.S., but it's one of them. So it's pretty cool.
Pikes Peak is pretty common though. Like you're driving through the springs in Denver,
Yep.
you see. I mean, from Pueblo, you can see Pikes Peak.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
I mean, it's like, oh, maybe where is the twin mountains? Do they have any 14ers over there?
The Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a couple of those, but I can't remember. I mean, I know there's some trail to them, but I don't know exactly. I'd say I'd have to like look it up. You know?
Isn't that a bar trail right there on Manitou, the incline?
Yeah, that's right by the incline. So it goes incline and then the bar trail right next to it. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yes, sir.
Don't they have a little train right there that goes all the way up to Pikes Peak?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so you can even like if you have your car parked, down, by the bar, so on in Manitou, I believe you can take the, I don't remember what the little train thing is called, but they'll take you all the way down. So it's pretty cool. I didn't do that, because I didn't park on that side of the mountain. I parked on the other side, so I had to. But they had a little shuttle bus that'll take you to what's called Devil's Playground, and that's where you can park your car too. And then, so that cut off like 2 miles of hiking that I had to do, and then I just hiked the rest on my, back to my car. So
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
Saved a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely came in clutch.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
How tough was it? Was it pretty tough?
If ranking out of all the 14ers I've done, probably top 3. I'd say number 1 is probably the first one I ever did.
Pikes Peak?
No, I'd say that's 3. And then I'd want to say, jeez, I gotta find this real quick because it's gonna make me go crazy. I can't remember the names real quick.
It's okay.
Let me see, watch. So, Quandary, that one wasn't too bad. So, I would say Belford was number 2 on the hardest. So that one was real tough. Sherman was probably one of the easiest. And then I'm trying to remember the one I did with Kent. That one was definitely the hardest one I did. Let me see. Right here. Humboldt Peak. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that one sucked, dude. That one was tough. That one was like 12 miles, and I just felt like death. And that was the first one I did, so that was the one I was least prepared with. So I ran out of water, and it's just terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, man. Gotta be prepared. Do your research, man. Look up your trails.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, I should definitely do that.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you live and learn, for sure.
Yeah,
You'll
man.
be prepared for next time.
Yeah. So Humboldt,
that.
Belford, Pikes, those are top 3. And then probably Elbert. That one was pretty tough. I think that's the highest one, the highest 14er. And then I remember doing the Sawtooth with my buddy Jarrett. That one was tough. That was 2 14ers in one day. That's when we did not Belford. It was called Bierstadt and Evans. So that was 2 in one day. That one was cool. And then Grays, that one was good. And then Quandary. All great. 100% recommend on anyone living in Colorado. So.
How was Greenhorn?
Greenhorn is great, man. We didn't do the long trail though. We kind of went out the back way. So the traditional long route to Greenhorn is supposed to be pretty tough. It's supposed to be like 8 miles or something, maybe even 9. So, but it's a cool mountain for sure.
Can you see over, can you see Pueblo from up top?
I can't remember honestly. I mean, it was great though. I mean, I remember I did that with my cousin and 2 of my friends. So that was cool. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, haven't done that. Yeah, that's something I want to do more.
Yeah.
Springtime.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Normally 14ers you do in the summer because most of the time the snow doesn't melt till summer, like June. So that's the crazy part. So there's like normal season for 14ers is like June, July to like August, September, maybe even October, depending on how cold it gets in Colorado, how fast. But yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's sweet. Yeah, this is what day is it? It's the 18th.
18th of December, 1 week out from Christmas.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You get your shopping done?
I did. Yeah.
Cool.
I need to do more.
Me too.
Yeah.
I need more.
dude.
Yeah, get some more stuff.
That gun kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, dude, guns aren't cheap, man. That's
No,
for sure,
they're not.
man. Yeah.
But they're fun.
Yeah, dude, that's for sure.
I love them. They're so
that's
fun. I
cool.
love mine. But yeah, I gotta get some more done for the fam.
For sure.
For sure. But yeah, I know this December's almost over.
Yes, sir.
2023 is almost right around the corner.
Yeah, man. Crazy to think, huh?
Yeah.
2020 doesn't feel that far away.
I know, it's crazy.
It's already almost 2023.
Seriously, this will probably be out in 2023.
Yeah.
But it'll be sweet. What time is it?
It's 6:07.
6:07.
Yes, sir.
You got any plans later?
Maybe hang out with some buddies.
Yeah.
I think my buddy James is back in town, so I might hang out with him. He's military, so it's cool seeing
That's
him.
sweet.
So I kind of want to see him. Maybe, and then just hang out with my other boys. That's it though.
That's awesome.
Probably. But
That's sweet. Yeah. We've only been going for an hour. Doesn't feel.
yeah, I know, pretty cool. Huh? We've known each other for since sophomore year.
Yeah.
So, probably since my junior year. So, what is that? 2018. So that puts 4 years. It's
4
not
years.
hard.
Yeah.
Not
Doesn't
hard to
feel
talk
like
to somebody you know that long. Right?
I know, it's crazy. That's what I had a hard time with the other one, but that's what I try to like.
You gotta get used to get comfortable with people right away. You know what I mean? It's easier when you already know somebody, established, communication with them.
Exactly. That's how it's been yeah.
Think about it. First competition, 2019. Doesn't that feel forever ago?
It does.
Right?
Oh man, high
think
school.
about high school graduation. To me, that feels like a long time ago now.
Oh, dude, so
it's
far away.
It's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel about that? It's like it doesn't feel like that long ago. You know what I'm saying? But it was like 2020,
Yeah, I know,
2019.
right? Yeah, it's
like,
cool,
what?
dude.
I know. I feel like sometimes I want to be back in high school. You ever get that feeling sometimes?
Not really. I always just try to look forward, I guess, honestly, and I guess I've been really enjoying my classes at college. I think there's some cool things like life just being simpler in that sense, but like I like the college schedule. I like making your own classes. I like the flexibility of it. I like my current schedule, doing things with training and everything. So, and I guess I'm really just invested and happy for my future, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, I think back about all the shit I couldn't do in high school that I could do now. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to sacrifice all the freedoms I have now, you know what I mean? So that, I guess that's probably the reason why I don't it's not that I don't look back on it fondly, but it's I don't know. I don't ever feel that desire.
Okay, I see your point of view. So squeaking on college.
Yeah.
How's the experience been so far?
It's been great, dude. Yeah, I've liked my time at CCP. Going on my.
Is
second
it a little more freedom?
Yeah, dude, it's way more freedom. Yeah, you just get your own schedule. You pay for your own classes. You do everything you want to do. So, it's amazing. I love my professors. I can't say I've had a bad experience. Met some good people. Started the club. So, it's been a great experience there. So can't complain at all.
CSU Pueblo, huh?
Yep, CSUP. Yep, yes, sir.
Man, and so I like CSUP.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I haven't been, but I like it. It's a pretty good university. Would you is that just the college you wanted to?
Yeah. They had my they had my major in the thing I wanted to do and local in town, so it just made the most sense.
Exercise science.
Yeah, with an emphasis in strength and conditioning. So I'll take I think it's called the NASCA strength and conditioning certification test as soon as I get my bachelor's. And then from there, once I get that, my bachelor's, and hopefully all the coaching experience I have going into that, I'll be able to get a good position once I graduate at a university or somewhere,
Is there a difference between exercise science and strength and conditioning?
Oh, so it's exercise science with an emphasis in strength and conditioning. So, you can have general exercise science. I think you can have you can do one that's maybe more for PT eventually, if you want to be a physical therapist. I know they have athletic training there as well, but no, it's not a difference. It's just a little branch within exercise science. That's what it is. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten into your numbers, so let's dive into your numbers as far as powerlifting.
Okay, so the best numbers I've ever had, like in competition, was last year, 2021, in June or July for the USAPL state championships, where I took second in my weight class. I think it was 83 kg at the time before they changed it to 82.5. It was when I got a 463 squat. I want to say it was a 302 or 303 bench, something like that, and then a 501 deadlift. I think that was the best one I ever got. So, those are those are the best numbers I've ever gotten in competition. With the commands and all that. So, yeah.
Nice.
I've gotten like 315 bench in the gym. But always failed it every single time in competition. So, yeah, I've gotten like 545 on deadlift in the gym before. But with like a bit of a hitch, so that wouldn't count in competition. So, but yeah, those are all my best numbers in powerlifting.
How much do you weigh?
So I weighed 181 for that competition in 2021, and currently I hover from around 180 to 185. So okay. I try to maintain that body weight that's where I hover. So.
And what is that in kilograms?
It's around 82 kg, 83. Yeah, I want to say 83 kg was like 82.5 pounds. I don't know, 83 kg times 2.2, whatever that is, But it's somewhere around there. I want to say 82.5 is maybe like 181 or something, 181.7. I can't remember. But, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah, but I think the last competition I did for jiu-jitsu was like 170 to 179.9, so I weighed in a little bit lighter there. That was, I want to say that was in October, though. It was like when I was like 178 or 177 or something. Just depends. My body fluctuates a lot sometimes, depending on how much food I'm eating.
Is there a different cut for jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I really don't try to cut for powerlifting. Like I don't really cut for either of them. I kind of just compete naturally. Like if I was like competing or something if I was at a higher level, but I'm only a white belt. It doesn't really matter that much to cut a bunch of weight, So I just try to compete where I'm at naturally.
Okay.
If it's a few pounds, then maybe I won't eat that morning or something. But it's from the years of wrestling, I kind of know how to manipulate the weight a little bit just the night before, so it's not that big of a deal. But powerlifting, I try not to cut, especially USAPL because they're 2-hour weigh-ins. I don't want to be sluggish and I don't want to not hit PRs just because I cut a bunch of food and water the day before, and weight cuts for like powerlifting and strength tend to hit me a lot harder than it would be for something like wrestling or jiu-jitsu. That's more cardio based, not as much just total strength output. So that's why that's for me personally though. Everybody's different. I've seen plenty of guys cut hard for powerlifting competitions, refuel in 2 hours, and they freaking hit crazy PRs. You know what I mean? It just depends on the person, So.
I gotcha.
Yeah, of course. But I don't recommend it for people going in their first competitions either. I think you should just compete at your natural weight, So, once you're at a higher level is when I think weight cutting should be, there. I think people do it too early, too often. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. You should enjoy the sport you're doing. You shouldn't put so much stress on yourself like that, and that's what some people do.
Yeah, that's what that makes it. It doesn't make it fun anymore. No. If you put too much stress on it, it's yep, doodles. Man, an hour and 12.
All right, well, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
Good,
man. Tired.
Good.
I won't lie. Okay. All right.
Well, if you're good, I'm good too, man. Maybe unless you got some conversations.
That's what
What are you thinking of?
What I'm thinking of is this right here.
Okay.
All right. This is it. So, all right, hear me out real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I froze. I froze. I was trying to think of something pretty cool to say, and
I
it
knew
didn't.
you didn't have shit to say.
Yeah, it didn't
You didn't
come
have to lie
out.
to me. I already knew you didn't have shit to
It
say.
didn't come out. I didn't have anything to say.
I know.
I
I know.
didn't.
I know. I know you
I
didn't.
didn't have
It's all
anything to
good.
say. That's what it was. Fuck, man. Yeah.
Hey, you're all good, bro. You're all good, dude.
It's good. It's good. I feel it's great. I don't even know. I feel like an hour and 13. That
That's
is
good,
pretty
dude.
good.
No, that's
That is
good, man.
Yeah, the longer. I mean, they're good, but people don't watch them that much.
Yeah.
Too long into them. At least I haven't seen so far. So maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe you gotta get better at clipping it. You know,
Yeah.
finding like the little clips and clips. You know, so like I don't know, one conversation you just put like 7 minutes in it. You know, maybe that's how you get people to do like a whole thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you
I
know,
see what you're
a
saying.
lot of podcasts clip their things out. So
Yeah.
obviously it's more time, but like in an hour long episode, you might get 5 clips, right? So you have one conversation where we were talking about coaching, one conversation where it's about the training, one where it's about the fantasy football, right? Or like little bits, right? And that's like what they do with the JRE clips and stuff like that, right? And that's where, and then you have to put like timestamps in the podcast too. That's pretty big. That's why I like to listen. If somebody wants to hear about something specifically, you know. So
I see what you're saying.
that's how you get people to like get clicks throughout the whole video. That's always really huge, right? Because sometimes people are not gonna want to watch the whole thing. So if you have something like you put the sound bit at 40 minutes and like this is the conversation they want to hear about this or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
I made a few of those.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Yeah, they weren't too bad.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah, they're not too bad, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just end it out real quick right now.
Sweet.
Yeah, this has been episode 8 of the Ambitious Writers Podcast. I have my friend right here, PT personal trainer, Nicholas Ponce. Nick Ponce Personal Training, right? Ponce,
Yes, sir.
Ponce
Personal Training. Yes, sir.
On Instagram, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anywhere else you want them to follow you on? Facebook?
Yeah,
Twitter?
I think I have. I think I have my Facebook page is the same thing.
Insta is
Ponce
where you
Personal
want them to
Training.
go, huh?
Yeah, either one. Yeah.
There we go. And the Ambitious Writers Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, other places for sure. I'm thinking about Twitter, and
Cool.
other social medias. I don't know, man. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, just follow, like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever. This has been episode 8, and tune in.